on, and this is your early morning booster. Yes, it is the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show, packed, fully packed, with a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot, just for your listening pleasure. And that's because, we do not take your loyalty for granted. We understand that a number of you actually sleep and wake up with us every day. Every day. On this dial, on this dial from dusk to dawn, you're here. We don't take it for granted. Thank you. We can't thank you enough, but thank you. Thank you, sir. Say that over a million times and not even, get tired of saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Best believe we don't take this for granted. All right, today is Thursday, and of course, it is the 21st day in the month of November 2024. I tell you, November is gradually coming to an end, and I'm super excited about that, knowing, of course, that December is just around the corner. And the good thing about December, a lot of things actually, comes to mind when you talk about December, not just because it is a Yuletide or Christmas is around the corner, but for the fact that we've got a hangout party coming up on the 20th of December. Yes, you have to gear up. Yes, and you know what? To those of you who actually listen to us like almost every day or every day of the week, and you actually have been dying, to meet with us one-on-one, I think December 20th, would actually avail you that opportunity to come, dance with us, have this, heart-to-heart talk or conversation with us. This one is going to be off air. You get to express yourself however way you can. If you're going to hug any of your favorite OAP when you see them, if you're going to, pet them on the face or even kiss them, if you know what I mean. Don't blow it out of proportion. Anyhow you want to do it, you want to splash money on them, like, come on, I'm your number one fan or what have you. You know what? We've got a lot packed for that day. Do not forget the date. It is 20th of December 2024, and it promises to be interesting, fun-filled, and anything good you can think of. We are ready, to host you and to have you, come dine and wine, or feast with us if you like. And you know what? The tickets are just 3,000 naira. Shikini money. 3,000 naira. Come on, is it not worth it? I know the economic situation on ground is, but come on, to think that you guys are family members and you come, live and direct to have a one-on-one with us. Come on, it is more than worth it. So there's actually a phone number you can call, for partnership, and just in case you want to get your ticket, just to be part of the Eagles FM hangout on the 20th of December. Yes, the number to call would be 070-344-36344. I'll take that again, 070-344-36344. So don't forget the date. It is 20th of December 2024. Come and let's have a good time. Yeah. That being said, my name is Omo FAP Sosemere, and of course I will be riding solo today because it is Thursday, and Thursdays they say are for throwbacks. How many of you already posted pictures, your Surulere pictures, your humble beginnings, and all of that? Beyond posting pictures today, I think today also avails you the opportunity to, sober reflect on your journey so far. Have you been making progress? Has anything changed or not? And that way, after reflecting on all of these, you get to, make up your mind. Yes, make up your mind to now try another leg. That's if things are not really going well as planned. But come on, it's a new day, and of course, another day, another opportunity for you to try again and do things differently. Yes. So today actually is Davido's birthday, because just to throw back a little bit, David Adeleke Adeleke, popularly and professionally known as Davido, the Nigerian songwriter, record producer, and singer, was born on this day, November 21, 1992. So it's safe to say happy birthday to him now. I'll leave it there this morning, and start off with the early morning crusade. See, we can't get tired of saying these things. So if it's somehow, becoming boring to you, then there's something wrong. Yes, because the crusade for you to do the right thing is something that shouldn't be boring at all. We have to continue this crusade until we'll get it right. Yes. So as the Harmattan season sets in, it is very, very important for you to take proactive measures, yes, to prevent climate-related incidents. Now, by that I mean fire outbreaks, that are very, very typical of this, dry season. Yes. So this will not be a wake-up call to hunters, to people who, for no reason, they always move about, with matchsticks in their pockets or lighters, and for no reason, once they just see bushes around them, they just, set the bush ablaze. Come on. Maybe you're doing that to keep the environment clean, but if you want to do that, stay back to supervise and monitor. You understand? So that the fire does not get out of hand, because sometimes it gets really uncontrollable and it becomes another problem. Honestly, entirely, a different problem. And come on, nobody wants to run kitty kitty kata kata, especially at this time of the year. So during Harmattan, the winds and cold season, the cold, they're usually on another level, which can easily spread flames and cause uncontrollable fires. Do well to put off your electrical appliances before you leave your homes as well, because of cases of, power surge and what have you. It is very important. Say no to open defecation. On Tuesday was World, Toilet Day. And of course, I stress the need for people to make deliberate efforts to get a toilet, no matter whether it is a modern toilet or not, but just get a toilet so you don't have to defecate openly, and urinate openly as well, or indiscriminately if you like. So say no to open defecation. And those of you that are fond of dumping dirt, refuse indiscriminately, please stop, because we need to keep Nigeria clean. Cleanliness, they say, is next, to godliness. Say no to one-way, driving and overspeeding. It is very important. Stop beating traffic rules. Speed actually thrills, but it kills. So please stay safe out there, because I need you to be alive. Because if you're not out there, I can say this over and over again, that I will be jobless if you're not there listening. All right. So please stay safe. We love you, but God loves you more. Yes. That being said, now let me quickly bring you up to speed, on 10 things you need to know for today, Thursday, the 21st day in the month of November 2024. The first one will be the fact that the Senate on Wednesday urged the Defense Headquarters, DHQ, to immediately halt the activities of the incursion of ISIS-backed terrorist group Lukarawa in the northern part of Kebbi and Sokoto State. Now, the Red Chamber, after a debate on the activities of a terrorist, charged troops to not only curb their further incursions into the country, but to eliminate them. And moving on, gunmen on Wednesday attacked policemen in Ohafia local government area of Abia State, while an account has it that 2 policemen were killed in the attack. Another account has it that the gunmen succeeded in killing one, leaving the other with several bullet wounds. All right. And at number 3, the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has maintained that the victory recorded by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa in Ondo State governorship election was not influenced by the presidency or any other external influence. He made the declaration while receiving Aiyedatiwa and his deputy, Dr. Olaide Adelami, at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. At number 4, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has recommenced the purchase of crude oil from the United States in its ongoing efforts to ramp up oil production and enhance its refining capacity. Now, a report by Bloomberg on Wednesday said the cargo conveying 2 million barrels of WTI Midland crude from Chevron Corp is due to be delivered to the refinery next month. All right, and President Bola Tinubu has dissolved the governing council of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, and removed its newly appointed vice chancellor, Professor Bernard Odo, and registrar, Mrs. Rosemary Wonkike. He also approved, the removal of Oheku Salami as pro-chancellor and chairman of the governing council of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otukpo, Benue State. Now, the leadership of the Labour Party on Wednesday urged members of the National Assembly to consider passing a bill barring aging politicians from running for presidential, governorship, and other political positions ahead of the 2027 elections. Now, this is most likely going to spark, controversy or, mixed reactions, because one would say that competence is not, it has actually got nothing to do with age, right? If someone is competent, your age shouldn't be a barrier, right? So, anywho, this is something people are definitely going to chew on, but let's see how it goes. A United States-based Nigerian, Ifeanyi Ozo, has been sentenced to 72 months in prison for his role in a $6 million bribery scheme aimed at defrauding a U.S. insurance company, Medicaid, through kickbacks. Ozo was also ordered to pay a sum of $4.9 million as restitution to the insurance company with a 3-year post-release supervision. Death toll has risen to 209 in the Majia town tanker explosion that happened in Tora local government area of Jigawa State. And the chairman of the investigative committee, DIG Hafiz M. Inua, retired, disclosed these findings during the formal presentation of the committee's report to Governor Umar Namadi. Moving on now to the number 9 thing you need to know for today. The House of Representatives has mandated electricity distribution companies Discos to undertake a 500 billion naira recapitalization to enhance their financial stability and ensure they can efficiently meet the obligations to the public. The House said recent actions by Discos have posed a significant threat to the nation's economic stability and the welfare of Nigerians. Well, the last thing you need to know for today will be the fact that the Rivers State Police Command said its men rescued a businessman identified as Julius Madabuchi, who was kidnapped by a 4-man gang at a filling station in the Oyigbo local government area of the state. The police said the man was abducted when the miscreant, who were driving in a black Toyota car, stormed the area and started shooting discriminately before executing their plan. That'll be it, ladies and gentlemen, for 10 things you need to know for today, of course, Thursday morning, yes, which is the 21st day in the month of November 2024. And just to give you a heads up that we are currently streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so head on now to these pages and give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's very, very important. Leave a comment and do well to share our videos or content. It is very, very absolutely important. Yes, and just so you know as well that you can link with us on these socials. I'm talking about YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X and TikTok, all at Eagles FM Abuja. Visit our website at www.eaglesfm.com and download our app on iOS and Play Store. I mean, it's very, very important. So when you're out of Abuja, you can always listen to your radio experience. You can count on. That being said, let us now take a quick look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers and see what these newspapers are reporting for today. I will be starting with the Punch newspaper, and yes, the big news story on the front page says Tinubu set to name envoys as ministry post consular officers. Tinubu set to name envoys as ministry posts consular officers. Now, a write underneath it says consular officers deployed to embassies in Spain, Malaysia, Brazil, others. Concerns raised over state of countries' missions abroad. You find that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And just above that one, Discourse list conditions for 500 billion naira National Assembly recapitalization plan, and you'll find that on page 27. And when you move on to still on page 27, bank chiefs lobby presidency over 1 trillion naira forex gain. And moving on to page 19, troops hunt terrorists behind Borno soldiers are killing. And on page 15, PDP governors NWC meeting Jos, brainstorm on NEC meeting. All right, and on page 19, Ayedatiwa gets certificate, court to decide PDP suit against a deputy. Moving on to page 20, court orders police to employ 22,000 constabularies. And moving on to page 7, misconduct, NBA backs Senate over sacking of CCT chair. On page 4, US-based Nigerian jailed 6 years for $6 million bribery scam. You find that on page 4 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Of course, that was a quick read, but that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking, from the Punch newspaper this morning. The Guardian newspaper is up next, and the big news story there says Naira plunge stalls federal government states capital projects, spikes cost by 75%. Naira plunge stalls federal government states capital project and further spike, cost, by 75%. All of that on page 6. Actually, there's a breakdown, with regards to that particular headline, talking about cement prices. They've actually tripled. Iron rods hits record high. And you also talk about MDAs, struggling to adjust budgets amid exchange rate crisis. And also projects, to face uncertainty as contractors demand reviews. All of that on page 6, like I said earlier, on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And moving on to page 5, Senate sacks CCT chairman Danladi Umar. And still on page 5, discuss actions threatening economic stability, reps declare. On page 6 again, PDP backs Damagum as Labour Party mobilizes youth for 2027 showdown. And on page 18, NNPC exporting 4.7 million barrels of new crude to Spain and US. Still on page 18, FX differential revenue accounts for 21% of 2.67 trillion naira FAC revenue. Moving on now to page 3, $1 trillion economy drive critical to banishing poverty, says Hamzat. $1 trillion economy drive critical to banishing poverty, says Hamzat. You find that on page 3. And still on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper, bills on diaspora voting, mineral exploration funding, scale second reading. All right, and then this one here says MD Khan seeks review of consultants' retirement age to 70 and also unified salary scale. You'll find that on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. The Daily Trust newspaper is not leading too differently from the Guardian or the Punch. It leads with reps ask Discos to raise investment to 500 billion naira or exit. Now, this comes with 4 riders underneath that headline. The first one says they are threats to economic stability and welfare of Nigerians. The second rider says liabilities, low capacity, fuel call for recapitalization. And then the third rider says lawmakers should demand accountability from electricity cores. Expert talking there. And the last one says Discos mom. You find all of that on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And just above the big news story right there on the front page, terrorists using girls as suicide bombers, as sex slaves. I take that again. Terrorists using girls as suicide bombers and also sex slaves. You find that on page 4. And moving on to page 32, I guess, federal government earmarks 112 billion naira to safeguard schools in 3 years. All right, you find that on page 32. And then moving on to page 3, 209 died from Jigawa tanker explosion. This is according to a probe panel, and you find that on page 3. Moving on to page 5, ACF to Tinubu, your economic policies impoverishing Nigerians. All right, that's on page 5. And on page 3, Senate asks Tinubu to replace Umar as CCT chair over misconduct. Moving on, or still on page 3, federal government sacks a Unizik council and vice chancellor and also registrar. And then moving on to page 21, I suppose, several injured as secondary school students clash in Kwara. All right, that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Daily Trust newspaper. So do well to grab a copy to get concrete details. The Vanguard newspaper is up next, and the big news story on the front page says terrorists from Mali, Burkina Faso in northwest Niger State. This statement is credited to the Senate. Terrorists from Mali and Burkina Faso, they are already in northwest and also Niger State. 3 riders underneath that headline. The first one says tasks military on early warning mechanism, and Defense Headquarters confirms killing of 5 soldiers in Borno terrorist ambush. The last rider says troops neutralize 30 terrorists. You find that on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Moving on to page 8. Import license, that is the kicker. Dangote refineries are sued incompetent, and NPCL tells court. And moving on to page 19 now. Military alone cannot end insurgency. NDA commandant talking there. And then epileptic power supply. Reps demand 500 billion naira capital base for Discos. You find that on page 6. Jigawa tanker explosion, that is the kicker. 209 killed, 68 hospitalized. That's according to a report, and you find details on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Russia-Ukraine war. Kyiv fires British Storm Shadow missiles into Russia. That's on page 8. And then just above the Vanguard logo, 2027 as the kicker. North will be best served by Northerners. This statement is credited to the ACF, that's the Arewa Consultative Forum. And then moving on to page 8, PDP National Chairman North Central divided over consensus candidate. Moving on to page 12, Senate sacks CCT chairman Danladi Umar. And then on page 29, NNPC unveils Autopate, right? Crude grade in global market, eyes 80,000 billion barrels per day, I beg your pardon, by 2025. That's on page 29, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the sports story here on page 37. It says, all right, it says AFCON 2025 qualifiers as the kicker. Ex-Libyan goalkeeper accuses Nigeria of sabotage. All right, I'll leave that, one for Vicky Vic to do justice to at the 8 o'clock hour. But that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Vanguard newspaper. The Nation newspaper is up next, and the big news story there says, halt Lukarawa's invasion now. Senate challenges military. A writer underneath it says, step up fight against terrorists. Acting Chief of Army Staff orders soldiers. Details on the front page, and it continues on page 4. And then North leaders to blame for region's woes, says Arewa Consultative Forum. You find details of that on the front page, and it continues on page 2, but you have an excerpt right there. It says, our dear region is not only being viciously attacked by bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers, but by sinister devices like disproportionate considerations and inequitable treatment. But again, details on the front page, and it continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Redeemer's Varsity breaks new ground in cancer, other diseases treatment. You find that on page 25. Jimo cautions Obasanjo over inciting remarks. Details on page 2. Ayedatiwa Delami gets COR, that's certificate of return, and you find that on page 5. Recapitalization, that is the kicker. Banks raise 1.68 trillion naira through e-platform. Details on the front page. It continues on page 2. Just above the Nation logo, alleged $35 million fraud. Wabote in EFCC custody, passport seized. Details on page 4. Moving on to page 7, NICOM orders insurance firms to clear outstanding claims next month. And then on page 5, Oshun APC yet to zone 2026 governorship ticket. Moving on to page 3, minimum wage as the kicker. It is 75,000 naira in Oshun, 70,000 naira in Bauchi. I'll leave it there this morning for the Nation newspaper. Now let's take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The big news story there on the front page says, we will back Northern candidate in 2027. Arewa Consultative Forum talking there. A writer underneath it says, fault Tinubu's policies as they relate to Northern Nigeria or region. You find that on page 4. And then Senate removes Umar as CCT chairman, forwards resolution to Tinubu. Details on page 5. FAC, that is the kicker. Federal government, states, local governments share 1.411 trillion naira for October. That's on page 6. And on page 19, FCCPC uncovers substandard sugar in markets, warns consumers. All right. And then on page 19, still on page 19, WAEC bans 13 schools in Kogi for examination malpractices. Moving on to page 4, court orders IGP, PSC to pay police constabularies 4-year salary arrears. And on page 3, why Damago met with PDP state chairman. No crisis in main opposition party. Imo chairman talking there, and you find that one on page 3. Moving on to page 17, Tinubu sacks Nnamdi Azikiwe University vice chancellor, dissolves governing council. A right underneath it says federal government announces changes to FOYE. FUOYE, that's FOYE, I guess. Kogi Varsity Governing Councils, all of that on page 17. And then just above the Nigerian Tribune logo, NNPCL's update, Autopate, I beg your pardon, a crude grade hits global market, eyes are 80,000 barrels per day, that's on page 6. And then this one here says federal government to appeal court judgment allowing seizure of $25 million over Ogun Trade Zone dispute. Details on page 25. And that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking, from the Nigerian newspapers for today because of time. It's already 27 minutes, gone past 7 a.m. this morning. So at this juncture, please do want to call in and share your 2 cents on these headlines. As always, we urge you to stay civil and avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language. Maintain 2 minutes or even less, whilst making your contribution so we can accommodate diverse views on the pages this morning. Do well also to turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Donatus from Niger State.
Yes, a group said they will bring out a candidate from the north that will beat Mr. Tinubu. It will not work. It will not work. I think it takes from 1950 to today. The Northerners have been on power. If they are not divided, we call the president. If they are not the president, we call the Senate president. What have they do with all those power they are not occupying? They should ask themselves this question. Understand? I think they should support all that. Even Mr. Late Yaradua, there's no vote for him. A very good man. There's no vote for him. Look at, I think they should use their tongue to calm their teeth. What is wrong with us? Where are we getting this wrong? That is my take. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, Donatus. But to say that Northerners didn't vote for Yaradua, it speaks, Late Yaradua, it speaks volumes. All right, let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, Dr. Prince Ike on the line. I think calling from Karemo.
All right, please go ahead.
It's a welcome development because there's no need for us to be big-dallied in terms of politics. Now, the northern people, northern leaders have spoken their mind. But my question is this: are they the only, region in this country that love power, that being power drunk?
How do you mean power drunk, Dr. Prince Ike?
Please, what I mean by that is this: whenever they are not in power, they will be making a lot of noise, creating a lot of headache to other people.
But isn't that the case with other regions?
Yes. Are they the only region in this country?
No, but I'm asking you, Dr. Prince Ike, isn't that the case with other regions? If they're not in power, they always, make noise?
No. Other regions are not like that.
Really?
Yes. I'm a political scientist. I know what I'm saying. You're hearing me? Yes. They should come down and embrace anybody from east or from west, from north and south. What about the eastern part of the country? After the Nigerian Civil War, they are being instructed not to produce president of this country. Are you getting me? They are highly imaginary, but they accommodate everything, allow God to
take us. Let's not bring, let's not be heavy on regional, No, it's a headline. Excuse me, Dr. Prince Ike, it's a headline. Don't try to blow things out of proportion this morning because we're not going to accommodate that. It is a headline. We did not make that headline. Then you saying that the northern, region, they always make noise or they are power drunk. It's actually, and I asked you a question, isn't that also typical of other regions in the country? In all fairness, let's be very, very honest with our criticisms. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Anyway, this is your position. Let me just leave it like that, please. It's okay.
Thank you, regardless, Dr. Prince Ike, for calling. Hello, good morning to you. All right, please do want to call back on 09087668888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Amaefe.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Abdul, calling from Suleja, Niger State.
All right, please go ahead.
I want to contribute on the issue of Dangote importing crude oil. Does it mean that Nigeria cannot give him enough crude oil? I don't know. But whatever they are doing, our own is that the price of fuel should come down. Because once the price of fuel comes down, everything in the market will come down. now to security. Please, our military, we know they are really trying. And my condolence to those ones that they kill. But they should make sure that this new terrorist group should not take over other states. They should not take over states. So God will help them so that they can neutralize them. And I want to congratulate the police in Rivers State that rescued a man from kidnappers. It's a good one. So may God help Nigeria. May God help Eagle FM. Thank you very much, Omerifi.
Thank you very much, Abdul, for your line of thought. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, peace of family.
Mr. Bright, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
This is Bright from my Scotland.
Right. Please go ahead.
Peace. The CCP shaman is being sacked by Senate. And then what? See, if people are giving hope in this country and they want us to emulate the so-called leaders in Nigeria, I don't advise even my children to learn from these so-called leaders in this country. Why did I say so? How can people be used to do dirty jobs and they cannot be recommended and there's no consequences for anything? A whole, what do they call it, Chief Justice of the Federation? Somebody that is under him, a nobody to him, Code of Conduct man. He and Buhari have to conjure wise and many things and use it to sack the man. They have done their job and well executed. Now we are going to sack him. Are you going to sack him and bring him to book and put him in jail with Mr. Buhari and all of them that conducted all those shenanigans? Is it when you have damaged people's reputation, career, their livelihood and all the rest of them, after doing it, you just leave them? You just go like that. And the person that's been done harm, you just compensate, let us compensate. What will you use to compensate? Do you compensate people with money what? Or when you damage people's house and the result that you give them money, is it worth it? There must be consequences of everything we do in Nigeria. That's why you see if somebody, INEC chairman, will conduct a sham and say it's election, the only thing we see, an INEC chairman will tell you to go to court. So people will tell you, grab power first and go to court. Is it worth it? Leaders are known as people who can do certain things in a special way, which maybe at a long time, when it's being abused, you give them thumbs up, but not in Nigeria's case. What do you learn from them? You look at them, they live. How can somebody who doesn't have money immediately becomes a politician, a governor or this thing? He becomes an after he becomes a multi-billionaire without being a businessman.
Yes.
We cannot emulate this type of leaders in having Nigeria. They are not being used as a statesman to conduct a rifle test. To be sincere, it's too much in this country. What we don't get you now? You come and tell him that you see not the CCP shaman that went and fought in Panic Plaza and start beating a young boy selling food to Nigeria and there's no consequences. They do love, but when it's a small boy now, all of them will arraign him and give him 50 years.
Let's leave it
50
here.
50 years jail. All this big men in Nigeria. Go.
Thank you very much, Bright, for calling. But we understand that the sack of Danladi Umar was, as a case of, misconduct. All right. So that is what we understand. The chairman of, the tribunal, he fell short of the requisite standard of a public officer to conduct, the affairs of such, tribunal. I mean, these and, probably, related reasons are the reasons or reasons, are what, why he was, removed and replaced. 09087668888 or 09073530044 are the numbers to call. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 0909-705-4450. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, my sister. This is the voice of King Kennedy calling from Karu.
All right, good to have you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether I got it clear that there are some persons coming in from the West Security Alert, something like that. I was just tuning in and I heard you read it.
All right.
But my question...
That
okay,
is actually with regards to the new terrorist group. You know, that the terrorists from Mali, Burkina Faso are in, northwest Niger State. Actually, it's the Senate that actually, raised this alarm. And now they are urging, the military to, come up with early warning mechanisms, to tackle, the infiltration of this terrorist in the country.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that clarification. But I want to just chip in this. People working at the borders, our citizens, they should stop giving military extra work. Okay. There is no way, as I speak to you, just Cameroon here, that you go in, that jam down, those people, those people will not check you. If you are going to find, you not, just ask anybody there, if you are going to find, you must be with your passport. I think it's time Nigeria stop giving our military extra work than their normal work.
All right.
If you employ people borders and at the end of the day it looks as if they are sleeping, I think it doesn't make sense. Thank you. I'll stop at this point. God bless every positive thinking Nigeria.
Thank you, Kennedy. Indeed, it is a collective responsibility, to tackle the emergence or infiltration, of terrorist groups in Nigeria. Personnel, what are they doing? How did these people, make their way into the country? It's not enough, to call on the military personnel to deal decisively with these people, but maybe the root cause or causes of these, cases or trends, should also be nipped in the bud. Hello, good morning to you.
It's a good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Apostle Osola from Apo. So my take goes like this. The National Assembly pushing that our Nigerians say that diaspora to be voting. Let them use that synergy and my strength to compare INEC that once they say the law that say that you will use this, you will translate our result in so point or the other. Will be carried out. Anytime they conducted the election, you will see the people will be lamenting because of the result, because the result will not reflect the mind of people.
Walking away, I didn't take any headline concerning Nigerians in diaspora, getting equal rights to vote. Did I? You commented on it. So I did not comment on any headline like that. All right.
You have something. You forgot what you read. So if it can be possible, it will go a long way. Not to calling our people that are outside the country to come and vote. We that voted and our votes are not counted. It's not a welcome development. Thank you for a good work you are doing. Thank you.
I suppose you're a clergyman, all right, from your, how will I put it now, from your name or names. But quite frankly, I know, of course, that particular, story trended yesterday, but I did not mention any story, regarding that today. We are all adults. I'll leave it there. So it won't look like one is trying to be too harsh or strict, but sometimes some of you actually call, for that kind of energy. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, my sister.
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning to you.
Yes.
I want to Saminu Dauda calling from Lifecam.
All right, please go ahead.
Let me start with the issue of the bandits that are coming to terrorist new group in our country. You see, it's rather unfortunate. I want to believe that we have enemies within and enemies outside. We have thousands and thousands of illegal routes. They might not be coming through the border.
All right.
That's it. So we need to be proactive. We have all the resources. We have all the manpower to circulate our country. You can imagine at the headquarters, army headquarters, I'm sure they have equipment. They can see what is happening around the river and area. Why can't we secure our country? If I may borrow the words of our legend Abacha, who said any insurgency that lasts more than 48 hours, government has an image.
Oh dear, please do well to call back. Do well to call back, honestly, to wrap up your thoughts. I will take a quick break now to go pay some bills to pay this particular bill. All right, we'll be back in a moment to take more calls. Do stay with us.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Wow, this feature phone is so good. Which phone is that? It is the ITEL IT5627. It comes with a 2500 mAh battery, which gives you 55 hours of standby use. Type-C charger, triple SIM slot, 3.0-inch screen, plus the 24 months warranty of worry-free use. Huh? 24 months warranty? Yes! Go and get yours. ITEL IT5627. New ITEL. New experience.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. And yes, the numbers to call are still 09087668888 or 09073530044. Don't forget, you can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. This is the pages where we review, the blazing headlines across the national dailies for the day and also get your reaction, to these headlines. Yes, we have a number of messages and voice notes on the WhatsApp portal already, but I'll just take this voice call before heading on to the WhatsApp portal. All right. Please do well to call back. In the meantime, let's take some of the messages that we have on here. Chinonso from Suleja says, the moment an average Nigerian understands that nothing good will come out of Dangote and an NNPCL, they will remove their minds from there. As for Arewa youth, born to rule mentality is your problem. All right. Good morning, Omoefe. What goes around will surely come around someday. That's what has happened to the sacked Code of Conduct Tribunal's chairman, Danladi Umar, who spearheaded the conspiracy that led to the sack of the former Chief Justice of the Federation, Walter Onnoghen, during Buhari's government. Man must always reap what he does or sows. God's words cannot be broken. You're almost sounding like a pastor now. In addition, the supplies of land mines to Ukraine by the United States of America is in order because Russia have also been supplied with all kinds of weapons by North Korea and Iran. Though the escalation of the war is bringing the whole world near nuclear disaster, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Nobody will live forever on planet Earth, and no one should claim to be the greatest in life. May God Almighty save us from ourselves. Amen. Comrade Ulobasi from Buhari, Abuja, thank you for that message. And then this one here, what's your name now? Abbas reporting from Duse. All right, it says, good morning, Omoefe. On the new terrorists in the north and insurgency, I think our military, until this moment, they are yet to learn how to fight terrorist war. Okay, why don't you teach them? That's why they keep recording casualty in battles. Let the NSA sit down with all the chief of staff and formulate different approach to dealing with these terrorists. All right, he went for that to say that these terrorists have they have a domain, right, where they operate. They have cows in the forest being used as their hideout. So why can't our military deploy same tactics being used by the Israelites or Israelis to fight these terrorists? An approach whereby you take the battle to your enemy in their safe havens, or launching long-range missile or missile to dislodge them where they are hiding before sending ground troops. Sorry to say, the military will continue to experience losses if they don't restructure combat tactical approaches using intelligent gathering as the modalities to winning the war against insurgency. RIP to those fallen heroes. It says, please, point of correction to all those saying they voted in Abuja and their vote didn't count. They voted for particular candidates in Abuja and their region, and their candidates won. So where else do they want their votes to count? Abbas, reporting from Dutse. Thanks for that message. Emmanuel from Suleja says, good morning, if for short. Thank you. It's just annoying, all these reports of new terrorist group and all. Let me ask, are they any different from the groups already operating in the northwestern state and other northern states? We've heard time and again of various groups and various terrorist kingpins operating in different states with the same modus operandi. Why is there all the talk of a new group like we've not always faced these security challenges from multiple groups and multiple fronts? We have been talking about the insecurity in the most part of Niger State going unreported. So how come it's suddenly sounding like it's a new thing or a new group? One of our regular caller here, Obasanjo, had always spoken out about it. I have always spoken up about it. Most local government areas in Niger State are fully under their control. All right. James from Suleja, thank you for that message as well. And then we have Samuel from Kuje. He says, good and blissful morning to you, Omoife. Congratulations and welcome to another bright new day. My sincere condolences to the families of Jigawa tanker fire, incident. Now that the terrorists are using girls as suicide bombers and sex machine, may God deliver our girls from the hands of these dead devils. Nigeria exporting crude oil and Dangote importing crude oil. Okay, it is well with us. We have refineries that are not working. What is wrong with this country? Okay, can't our leaders do things right for once? I bet let me go and look for what to eat, Jerry. I'm getting tired of the insensitivity of our present day leaders. May God bless your day, Omoife. Indeed, Samuel, please go get something to eat. It is very, very important. All right. Thank you for that message, by the way. Turkin Bihundu says, good morning. If I'm listening from Nasarawa State, Danladi Umar has been in that office for a long time and been involved in many controversies, including slapping a security guard at Wuse 2 Banex Plaza. The current president stood in the dock before Umar at CCT. The Nigerian army is capable of stopping insecurity, but reason best known to them prefer to keep treating insecurity with baby hands. All right, Turkin Bihundu there. Thank you so much for all of these messages. And before I take the voice notes that we have on the WhatsApp portal, you can still, proceed, you can still call. Let's hear from you what your thoughts are. I missed a number of calls already, so please do it to call back. The numbers are still 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. And again, voice notes and messages can be directed to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705 4450. What exactly are your thoughts with regards to the headlines making the rounds across the national dailies for today? So let's just go ahead and take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello,
good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Honorable Edward Senator.
All right, please go ahead, Honorable.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of actions yesterday. And if you look at the cleanup, I look at it as a very good cleanup, because the VC and the system that was cleaned there was good. This man, I was stuck yesterday that I complaining, this man has got a lot of things. Let's have another person there. Talking about North Aloha, let me be honest with you. It's not because Aloha is not in power. The truth of the matter is that even when Buhari, Yaradua, and all of them who are in power, these guys, they have things like that. I am not a member. Of course, I am from the North, but I'm not a member, but they are doing like that. It's not because they are not in power. So let's remove that situation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Edward from Apo. All right. Let's take this. Let's take a listen to this voice notes that we have on here.
Hello, good morning, Omoife. My name is Salasi, sending this voice note from Turkey. I want to start by appreciating my good brother Donato from Niger State. I concur with what Donato is saying. In this country, the people that rule this country, majority are from the northern part of this country. What have they done? What have their Messiah that come from the northern part for the past 8 years? Can you tell me the achievement of Buhari for the past 8 years? Buhari couldn't do anything to alleviate, to salvage North from the poverty and the hardship being perpetrated in the northern part of the country. They couldn't do anything about that. Now they are saying they are going to vote in another northern candidate. In fact, now I begin to love Tinubu. Tinubu, my man. I'm telling you, they have nothing to do. In fact, even the political party, are they united? Look at the insecurity battling in the northern part of the country. Look at the local group. We are still talking about local group. We are still talking about the Boko Haram, so on and so forth. Yesterday we met under our gallant men lost their life. Civil defense officers still missing. About 5 officers lost their life yesterday in Maiduguri. Now they are talking of 2020. Hey, they are going to fit in the northern candidate. Come 2020. Tinubu, I will support Tinubu. We have been warning them. They refuse. All the malams and the imams.
All right, Salasi. Thanks for that voice note or message. All right. Triple D sent a voice note, so let's go take a listen to it.
Good morning, Omo Efe. I celebrate you. I celebrate Nigerians. Good morning. My name is Triple D from Waru. Well, I greet all the callers and listeners, especially the great man, Mr. Salasi, and Elder Edward Onoja. Well, I want to comment on the issue of the North calling for 2027. The earlier the better. They should look for other candidates from another region in order to make it easier for them. I'm a Northerner, but I don't support a lot of their policies and program. How many presidents we, the Northerners, produce? Where are we today? We'll get it right very soon. God bless Nigeria. Good morning, Eagles FM.
Thank you very much, Triple D. You know, but anyways, these are your opinions, right? And one is not about to enforce, her opinion, on others. But, when you look at the issues on ground, politicians would always be politicians, right? Regardless of where they come from and, the religion that they practice, or even the party they belong to. Haven't you really, taken time to observe the progression of events and assess very critically, the body language of these politicians, their carry on? What really differentiates A from B? Is it the political party they belong? Is it the region they come from? Or the religion that they practice? But again, politicking has already started, one would say, because we have the politicians already, throwing words at each other, making deliberate efforts, to take over in 2027, whether at the federal, the state, or even local government level, what have you. So if the masses, from a certain region are not coming out to say that, in 2027, they will back northern candidates. Is their opinion, by the way. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I'm
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Ola is calling from Central area.
All right, please go ahead.
I miss you in Fission FM.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm here now, so you can pitch your tent here.
Thank you. You see that many of us have not even understand the system. We continue blaming the candidate without looking at the structure. The structure will not have any performances, my sister. If I'm a professor, I can abandon my profession, come to politics. Is it to make Nigeria a call for? Is it not to come and find do something and do? If you continue blame individual, you can't go anywhere. So that will be a comparative. Our structure will not allow any performances. My sister, if you give any representatives to what are they doing to them? When they come a doctor and they take a sit down and they say they make love that has no impact of this thing. What we are doing is so aside the the structure on the ground is what they are doing. It is the structure that made the state to come to America to collect allocation and go back. It is the structure that made Nigeria not productive. When we are making 100% of revenue and 70% is going on wages and salary, recurrent expenditure, how can we sustain that? If we need 30% is spent on all the sector, refinery, or in education and transport, we can sustain it. But when we restructure, we will continue building individual. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olarawaju, for your line of thought right there. Well, at the end of the day, one would say that, beyond, the bickering, from right, left, center, front, back, front and back, how about we channel all of this energy of ours, right, and gear up for 2027? Most importantly, get your PVC so that when the opportunity comes, you can go all out in your numbers. Don't sell your votes, because we might actually argue from today till tomorrow, and we still have people amongst us who are hell-bent on selling their votes in the name of poverty and hunger. The conversation does not end here, right? It continues, because, of course, these are the, events that would actually give us something to chew on in the days to come. We already heard, the part of the Labour Party saying that people of certain age, shouldn't be allowed to even hold, positions, elective positions, right? But does that really matter? Competence and age, do they have anything in common, or they work side by side? I don't know. But again, we've got something to chew on. You never can tell what the discourse will be tomorrow. I am Omoife Episo-Semere, and I must tell you a very big thank you. For always keeping us company every weekday on the pages. You call in to share your thoughts passionately, and we really do not take it for granted. We only hope that the relevant stakeholders, will take note of these observations and contributions of yours and do the needful. Vicky Vic will be right here in a bit, to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. And I definitely will make a return at the 9 o'clock hour, yes, to talk about what seems to be happening right now. I don't know if a number of you are aware that POS transaction charges, they've actually surged, not just by 50% now, well, depending on the area or location. And this is amidst, cash scarcity. So it leaves us with a lot to talk about, with a lot to take in as well, because it's almost like a tradition now that this time of the year we always, have to contend with issues like this. But why is that? So these are the questions we're going to be asking, an economist who will be joining us at that hour. So do well to join us at that time as well, because we'd like to get updates from you as to what is obtainable in your area in terms of POS transaction charges. I am Omoife Episo-Semere, and I'll be back in a moment. Good morning to you.